Have you ever wondered why Jesus constantly said, "Those who have eyes to see, let them see"? Was he really talking about your physical eyes, or was he revealing something far more profound, a forgotten ability that lies dormant within the chosen ones? Before we dive deeper into this ancient mystery, if you have ever experienced flashes of light in your peripheral vision, or felt the presence of something beyond this physical realm, hit that subscribe button right now. You are here for a reason, and this message was meant to find you today. Most people walk through life completely blind to what surrounds them. They see buildings, trees, and other human bodies, but they miss the entire spiritual dimension that exists right alongside our material world. Think about it for a moment. You spend your entire life looking at the surface of reality, never questioning if there might be layers beneath what your ordinary vision can capture. The average person believes that what they see with their eyes is the totality of existence. But this is perhaps the greatest deception ever perpetrated upon humanity. Tonight, we are going to unlock the ancient technique that Jesus taught to his disciples, a method to activate what the scriptures call spiritual sight. This is not fantasy or imagination. This is about training your consciousness to perceive the frequencies that most humans cannot access. By the end of this message, you will understand why you were chosen to receive this knowledge, and more importantly, you will know exactly how to begin seeing the spirit world with your own physical eyes. The veil between dimensions is thinner than you realize, and tonight you will learn how to part it. Let us begin with one of the most misunderstood passages in all of Scripture. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 22, Jesus states something that sounds almost like a riddle. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. For centuries, religious scholars have treated this as mere metaphor, a poetic way of talking about moral purity or focused intention. But what if they were wrong? What if Jesus was giving us literal instructions, a technical manual for activating a dormant sensory organ within the human body? The religious establishment has always preferred to keep this knowledge symbolic rather than practical, because practical spiritual power in the hands of individuals threatens institutional control. The single eye that Jesus refers to is not your left eye or your right eye. It is the unified field of perception that emerges when your logical mind and your intuitive consciousness merge into one coherent lens. Ancient mystics called this the third eye, but its physical anchor point in your body is the pineal gland, a small pine cone-shaped structure buried deep in the center of your brain. This tiny organ contains crystals that respond to electromagnetic frequencies. It produces dimethyltryptamine naturally in your body, the same molecule that shamans use to access other dimensions. Your pineal gland is literally a biological antenna designed to receive transmissions from the spiritual realm. Scientists have discovered that this gland contains the same photoreceptor cells found in your physical eyes, suggesting it was designed to see something beyond ordinary light. But here is the critical truth that separates the chosen ones from the sleeping masses. Most people have a calcified pineal gland. Years of fluoride in water, processed foods, and most importantly, living in a low vibrational state of fear, anger, and distraction have sealed shut this gateway. The chosen ones are those whose consciousness is beginning to vibrate at a frequency that naturally decalcifies and activates this organ. You were not chosen randomly. You were chosen because your soul is ready to remember what you truly are, a being of light temporarily inhabiting a physical form. And that light within you is beginning to recognize the light in everything else. This recognition is not intellectual. It is a deep cellular memory awakening after lifetimes of dormancy. Let me take you to one of the most extraordinary moments in the Gospels, the Transfiguration on Mount Tabor. Jesus takes Peter, James, and John up to a high mountain, Suddenly, the disciples witness Jesus glowing with brilliant white light. His face shines like the sun, and his clothes become dazzling white. Then, Moses and Elijah appear beside him, and the disciples have a full conversation with beings who had been dead for centuries. The traditional interpretation says that God temporarily changed Jesus' appearance to reveal his divine nature. But this completely misses the point of what actually happened on that mountain. Jesus did not change on Mount Tabor. The disciples changed. Their perception shifted. For a brief moment, the veil was lifted from their eyes, and they saw what had always been there, the luminous spiritual body that exists within and around all enlightened beings. They saw Jesus as he truly was, not just as he appeared to be. This is the key insight that unlocks everything. The spiritual world is not somewhere else. It is not in heaven or another dimension that you travel to when you die. The spiritual realm is right here, occupying the exact same space as the physical world, but vibrating at a different frequency. Think of it like radio waves. Right now, as you hear these words, your room is filled with hundreds of radio signals, news broadcasts, music, conversations, but you do not hear them because your ears are not tuned to those frequencies. You need a radio receiver to translate those waves into sound you can perceive. Your spiritual sight works the same way. The spirits, the angels, the energetic essence of all living things, they are broadcasting constantly. But your ordinary vision is only tuned to the narrow band of electromagnetic spectrum we call visible light. When Jesus spoke about having eyes to see, he was teaching a method to expand your perceptual range. He was providing instructions for tuning your biological receiver to frequencies beyond the material world. Now we arrive at the practical application. How exactly do you train your eyes to see beyond the material world? The first technique is something I call the soft gaze, though it has been known by various names throughout history. Mystics in every culture have discovered this same method independently, which tells us something profound about its validity. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Sit comfortably and allow your eyes to rest on a point approximately 3 to 6 feet in front of you. This could be a blank wall, or better yet, a natural space like trees or sky. Here is the crucial part. Do not focus your eyes the way you normally do when you are trying to see something clearly. Instead, allow your eye muscles to completely relax. Let your vision go slightly out of focus, as if you are looking at nothing in particular, or as if you are looking through the space rather than at it. This state might feel strange at first, because you spend your entire life sharpening your vision, trying to see every detail clearly. But clarity in the material world creates blindness in the spiritual realm. When you soften your gaze, you allow your peripheral vision to become dominant, and peripheral vision is where spiritual sight first emerges. After a few minutes of maintaining this soft gaze, you may begin to notice subtle movements in the air. Tiny particles of light, almost like dust motes, but moving in ways that do not follow air currents. You might see slight distortions in space, as if heat waves are rising even in a cool room. These are the first signs that your perception is expanding. Do not chase these phenomena when you see them. The moment you try to focus directly on them with your normal vision, they will disappear. Remember, spiritual sight requires relaxation, not effort. You must learn to see without trying to see. This is perhaps the most difficult aspect for Western minds, trained to believe that more effort equals better results. But here is something they never tell you in those New Age seminars. No technique or method will work if your personal vibration remains low. This is why the second step is absolutely critical, and it is why many people fail before they even begin. Your consciousness operates on a frequency, just like a radio station broadcasts on a specific frequency. Fear, anger, hatred, jealousy, guilt, these emotions anchor your consciousness in the densest, lowest frequencies of existence. When you vibrate at these levels, you can only perceive the heaviest, most material aspects of reality. Love, compassion, joy, gratitude, and inner peace elevate your frequency. And here is the profound truth. Spiritual beings, angels, and the higher realms exist at elevated frequencies. To see them, you must raise yourself to match their level. This is not metaphorical. This is physics. Jesus taught this principle when he said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." Purity of heart does not mean never having negative thoughts. It means not allowing those negative frequencies to dominate your consciousness. It means actively choosing to operate from love rather than fear. Before you attempt to activate your spiritual sight, you must do the inner work. Forgive those who have wronged you, not for their sake, but to release the low frequency of resentment from your energy field. Release your attachment to material possessions and outcomes. Practice gratitude for everything you have, no matter how small. This is not religious morality. This is energetic necessity. A radio covered in mud cannot receive clear signals. Your consciousness covered in dense negative emotions cannot receive spiritual frequencies. You must understand that every unresolved trauma, every grudge you hold, every fear you cling to, acts as static interference, preventing clear spiritual reception. Many people wonder why their spiritual practices seem ineffective. They meditate, they pray, they perform rituals, yet nothing seems to shift in their perception. The answer is almost always the same. They are trying to tune into high frequencies while maintaining low vibrational emotional states. This is like trying to listen to classical music on a radio tuned to a static-filled frequency. The broadcast is happening, but you cannot receive it clearly. The third technique takes the soft gaze to the next level. Your peripheral vision, the edges of what you can see without moving your eyes, is the gateway to spiritual sight. Here is why this works. The center of your vision, where you focus when you read or look directly at something, uses cone cells in your retina. These cells are specialized for seeing color and detail in bright light. But your peripheral vision uses primarily rod cells, which are far more sensitive to movement and to low light conditions. Spiritually, your peripheral vision is less corrupted by your logical, analytical mind. When you look directly at something, your brain immediately categorizes it, names it, and fits it into your existing mental model of reality. But when something appears in your peripheral vision, there is a brief moment before your brain processes it, and in that moment, you can perceive things as they truly are. Practice this technique. While maintaining your soft gaze on a central point, begin paying attention to what happens at the edges of your vision. Do not move your eyes toward anything you notice. Simply allow your awareness to expand outward while your eyes remain still. With practice, you will begin to see flashes of light or shadow at the corners of your vision. You might see what appears to be movement where nothing physical is moving. Some people report seeing figures or shapes that vanish the moment they try to look directly at them. These are not hallucinations or tricks of the light. You are beginning to perceive the energetic movements that surround you constantly. Every thought, every emotion, every living being creates ripples in the spiritual field. You are learning to see those ripples. Let me be direct about what happens when your spiritual sight begins to activate. The first thing most people notice is auras, the energy field that surrounds every living being. You might see a faint glow around people, heads, and bodies, often appearing as a subtle color or shimmer in the air. Plants and trees have particularly strong auras because they exist in a more natural, unfiltered state of being. Try your soft gaze technique while looking at a tree against the sky. Many people find it easier to see the energy emanating from nature before they can see it around humans. Trees do not have the same mental chatter and emotional turbulence that clouds human energy fields. You may begin to notice orbs, spheres of light that appear suddenly and move with apparent intelligence. These are usually benevolent spiritual presences, though not all orbs are the same. Some appear as bright white or golden light, while others might be blue or even darker colors. Pay attention to how you feel when you see these orbs. Your emotional response will tell you whether the presence is positive or requires boundaries. Some chosen ones report seeing geometric patterns overlaid on reality, sacred geometry that structures the energy field of our universe. Others see streams or rivers of light flowing between people, especially during emotional exchanges or moments of connection. These energy exchanges happen constantly, but most people are completely unaware of the spiritual commerce taking place in every interaction. But I must give you a serious warning. When you open your spiritual sight, you do not get to choose what you see. Along with the beautiful and the divine, you will also perceive lower vibrational entities. These appear as shadows, dark spots, or areas where light seems to be absorbed rather than reflected. Do not panic when you encounter these. Remember what Jesus taught his disciples. Fear not, for I am with you. The light within you is infinitely more powerful than any darkness you might perceive. These lower entities feed on fear. They cannot harm you unless you give them permission through your own fear and doubt. Understanding the nature of these beings is crucial. They are not demons in the Hollywood sense. They are simply consciousness operating at very low frequencies, parasitic energies that attach to humans who match their vibration through sustained negative emotions. When you see them, you are not in danger. You are simply becoming aware of what was always there. There is a reason why this knowledge has been kept hidden from the masses. Seeing the spiritual realm comes with tremendous responsibility. Once you perceive the energetic reality behind physical appearances, you cannot unsee it. You will know when someone is lying because their energy will not match their words. You will feel the heaviness in places where trauma or violence occurred. You will sense the presence of spiritual beings that others walk past without noticing. This knowledge will separate you from those who still sleep. You will try to explain what you see, and most people will think you have lost your mind. They will call you crazy or delusional. This is why Jesus said his followers would be persecuted. It is not about religious belief. It is about perceiving truth in a world built on illusions. But this is also why you are called chosen, not because you are better than others, but because your soul agreed to carry this burden. You volunteered to be the one who sees, who remembers, who holds the light steady while others find their way in darkness. If you have made it this far in this message, if these words resonate in the deepest part of your being, then you already know what you are. The activation has already begun. Your presence here, watching these words, is not coincidence. You were guided here by forces that recognize the light within you. The techniques I have shared with you tonight are just the beginning. Activating your spiritual sight is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice. Some days you will see clearly, other days the veil will feel thick and impenetrable. This is normal. Even Jesus had moments of perceived separation from the divine when he cried out on the cross. What matters is consistency. Practice the soft gaze daily, even if only for 5 or 10 minutes. Continue doing the inner work to raise your frequency. Maintain your peripheral awareness as you move through your day. Over time, spiritual sight will become as natural as physical sight. Keep a journal of what you experience. Write down the visions, the sensations, the patterns you begin to notice. This serves 2 purposes. First, it helps you track your progress and recognize patterns in your spiritual development. Second, it validates your experiences when doubt creeps in, as it inevitably will. And here is the most important truth. The real purpose of seeing the spiritual world is not to have supernatural experiences or to feel special. The purpose is to remember what you truly are, an eternal being of light, temporarily having a human experience. When you see the light in all things, you can no longer hate, judge, or harm, because you recognize that everything is connected through the same divine source. This is what Jesus was teaching his disciples on that mountain. This is what he meant when he said, "The kingdom of heaven is within you and among you right now." Not in the future, not in another place, but here, in this moment, in this dimension, if only you have eyes to see. If you have experienced unexplained visions, if you have seen things that others insist are not there, if you have felt called to something greater than the mundane world can offer, then you know why you are here. You are waking up. You are remembering. You are being called to see. The path ahead will not always be easy. Seeing truth in a world of deception comes with challenges. But you do not walk this path alone. There are others like you, scattered across this planet, all waking up at the same time. Together, you form a network of light that is raising the consciousness of humanity. Comment below, "I see the light," if you are ready to acknowledge your role as one of the chosen ones. Let us find each other. Let us support each other. Let us hold steady as the great awakening unfolds around us. And if you want to continue receiving these hidden truths, these ancient teachings that the world tried to bury, hit that notification bell right now. The journey we are on together is just beginning, and what comes next will challenge everything you thought you knew about reality itself. Remember, you were not chosen randomly. You were chosen because your light was always meant to shine in these dark times. Welcome home, chosen one. Welcome to the truth that has been waiting for you to remember it.